Welcome, gentle listener. You have found your way to a quiet place, a space designed for hushed thoughts and soft contemplation. Think of it as a comfortable armchair in a very old library. The lights are low, the world outside is muted. Here we shall explore curious things that twist and turn in the mind. But we shall do so gently, very gently indeed. Our aim is not to wrestle with giants of intellect, rather it is to float on a calm current of thought, easing you into the night. Tonight we embark on a journey into the land of paradox. These are not the alarming headlines that might keep you awake, nor are they the urgent tasks that clamor for your immediate attention. Instead, they are curious little puzzles, like intricate knots that invite gentle, unhurried unraveling, or perhaps knots that are beautiful simply for being knotted, holding a mystery. We are not here to strain the brain, we are here to soothe it, to offer it something intriguing yet profoundly calming, to hold on to as the day unwinds and fades. Consider this a gentle invitation, an invitation to let your mind wander freely, to stray from the well-trodden paths of daily concerns and anxieties. We will explore ideas that seem to tie themselves in delightful knots. Ideas that playfully challenge our everyday understanding of the world. But fear not, dear friend. There are no tests here, no right or wrong answers are demanded from you, only the quiet hum of a mind gently engaged in wonder. This is a space for peaceful curiosity, not for concern or strenuous effort. Our ultimate destination is, quite simply, a state of profound peace, and perhaps a gentle drift into welcome sleep. The paradoxes we encounter tonight are stepping stones, each one a curious thought to ponder for a moment, each one designed to lead you further from the bustle of the day, and closer, ever closer, to the deep tranquility of the night. So settle in, breathe deeply and easily, let the world recede, allow the soft tendrils of these curious thoughts to guide you towards rest, towards calm, towards sleep. Now you might be wondering, quite reasonably, what exactly is this thing called a paradox? It is a statement or a situation that appears to contradict itself. It seems to say two opposite things at the very same time, and yet, despite this apparent contradiction, it might still hold a measure of truth. The charm of a paradox lies in its ability to be both puzzling and profound. They are gentle invitations to explore, like a curious kitten batting softly at a loose thread. It might seem, well, paradoxical in itself, the very idea that something built upon contradiction could be calming. Yet paradoxes often have a surprisingly soothing effect upon us, especially when approached with openness, like a calm pond reflecting a complex star-dusted sky. The complexity is there, but the surface remains perfectly still. This deliberate slowness can be a wonderful antidote, an antidote to the relentless speed of modern life, where everything seems to demand an instant response. Paradoxes ask for patience, a close cousin to peace. This acceptance can be profoundly restful for the soul. It is not unlike watching clouds drift lazily across a summer sky, or observing the gentle rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide on a deserted shore. The mind is engaged, but it is not struggling. It is instead in a state of gentle, curious play. We are not trying to win against the paradox, rather we are allowing ourselves to drift with it, to explore its fascinating contours, to appreciate its strange inherent beauty. This gentle mental activity can be a lullaby in itself. So, as we prepare to delve into some specific examples of these curiosities, let us set our scene, the scene for slumber, for deep and peaceful rest. The purpose of this shared journey, after all, is to guide you gently towards sleep. These paradoxes are not intended to jolt you awake with alarm, far from it, I assure you. They are chosen for their ability to fascinate, certainly, but also, crucially, for their capacity to soothe, to engage your mind just enough. enough to distract it from the anxieties and worries that often surface unbidden at bedtime. Those persistent little thoughts that buzz like tiny, unwelcome mosquitoes in the quiet dark. I invite you now to make yourself utterly comfortable, truly deeply comfortable. Perhaps you are already tucked up snugly in bed. The lights dimmed low, casting soft shadows, the sounds of the day fading into a distant, gentle hum. Allow your body to relax completely. Let your shoulders soften and release any tension. Unclench your jaw. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and a long, gentle, sighing breath out through your mouth. Feel the unwavering support of your bed beneath you, the comforting softness of your pillow. This is your sanctuary, a place of safety and of profound peace. The paradoxes we will explore together will be presented with the utmost care, explained simply without confusing jargon or unnecessary complexity. Think of them as bedtime stories for the curious adult mind, each one a gentle current in a slow-moving river, designed to carry you a little further away from the shores of wakefulness. The aim is to occupy that part of your brain that might otherwise churn with worry, to give it something pleasant, something intriguing to play with, something that leads it away from the well-worn, anxious paths of daily concern, and onto quieter, more meandering, peaceful trails of thought. Consider this a form of mental lullaby, a gentle, rhythmic rocking of the cognitive cradle, lulling your mind to rest. The ideas themselves may be intricate, it is true. They may twist and turn in quite unexpected and delightful ways, but our exploration of them will always be calm, unhurried, and serene. There will be no sudden shocks to startle you, no startling revelations designed to make you sit bolt upright in bed. Only a steady, soothing stream of thought, a quiet, flowing narrative to accompany you as you drift, as you let go of the day and ease into the gentle, loving embrace of the night. Section 5. A promise of puzzles and peace. Encounter intriguing paradoxes, ancient and modern. Meet curious characters and ponder changing ships. Consider arrows that fly yet remain still. Each paradox is a gentle puzzle. No pressure to solve, just drift and explore. Let go of tension, breathe deeply and open your mind. May these paradoxes guide you to restful dreams. Section 1. Easing into enigmas, a gentle start. We have settled in, haven't we? Found our quiet corner, our comfortable space for contemplation. The world outside continues its rush, its hurry, but here within these gentle thoughts we move slowly. We are easing ourselves into the world of enigmas, these curious puzzles of the mind. There is no race to be won, no grand prize for a quick solution, only the soft unfolding of ideas, a gentle turning of mental pages as we prepare for profound, peaceful rest. Our first few companions on this journey are old friends. Well-known paradoxes, familiar to many, they are like gentle foothills preparing us for wider vistas. We shall approach them with simplicity, with a calm and open heart. Their familiarity can be very comforting, like a favorite, well-loved story heard once more. The patterns they reveal are intriguing, but they are not designed to startle or to jolt. Rather, they are here to gently engage your mind, to lead it down quiet, winding paths of thought. Remember, dear listener, there is no test here, no examination of your understanding. If a thought seems to twist a little too tightly, simply observe it. Let it be. There's no need to grasp or to wrestle. Our aim is quiet fascination, not mental gymnastics. The beauty of these paradoxes often lies in their very resistance. Their refusal to be pinned down too easily, like a shy creature glimpsed in soft twilight. Its mystery is part of its gentle charm. So let your mind be open, let it be soft and receptive. We are about to meet our first puzzle. It is a classic, a charming little conundrum. It concerns a village and a barber, and a rather specific rule about shaving. Allow this simple story to unfold. Let its gentle contradictions play in your mind, like soft notes of music drifting on the quiet air, leading you ever so gently towards the peace of the night. towards the deep calm of slumber. Section 2. The curious case of the village barber. Who shaves him? Imagine a small, quiet village. In this village there lives a barber. He is the only barber in the entire village. He shaves all those men in the village, and only those men who do not shave themselves. If a man shaves his own beard, the barber leaves him be. But if a man does not shave himself, the barber steps in. The question is this: who shaves the barber? Does he shave himself, or does someone else shave him? This is the heart of the barber paradox. When we try to apply the barber's own rule to himself, we find ourselves in a curious loop, a logical knot that seems to tighten the more we try to unpick it. It is a delightful little mental teaser, a perfect, gentle companion for our quiet thoughts, as we drift further from the day's demands and closer to the stillness of sleep. Section 3. Unpacking the barber's dilemma, a closer look. Suppose the barber shaves himself. If he shaves himself, then, according to his own rule, he is one of those men who shave themselves. And his rule states he does shave men who shave themselves. So if he shaves himself, he must shave himself. This is a direct contradiction. Now let us try the other option. Suppose the barber does shave himself. His rule states that he shaves all men in the village who do shave themselves. So if he does not shave himself, he fits his own criteria. He becomes one of the men he is obliged to shave. Therefore, if he does not shave himself, he shave himself. Another contradiction. This is the essence of this particular paradox. It shows how self-reference can lead to these fascinating circular situations where logic seems to fold back on itself. It is a playful quirk of logic, a perfect, gentle puzzle to hold in your thoughts as you continue to relax and unwind completely. Section 4. Whispers of Identity. Introducing the ship of Theseus. We turn now to another ancient puzzle, a paradox that whispers to us from across the centuries. It is about identity, about what makes a thing, well, itself. Our story takes us to ancient Greece, to the legendary hero Theseus. Theseus had a famous ship, a vessel that carried him on his many adventures. Over many long years, this ship was carefully maintained. Whenever a plank of wood in the ship rotted or a part became damaged, it was replaced with a new identical piece. This process continued until every single original part of the ship had been replaced with a new one. It still looked like Theseus's ship. It still sailed like Theseus's ship. The Athenians still called it the ship of Theseus. But a question began to be whispered. Is this repaired ship, now made of entirely new materials, still truly the very same ship of Theseus? Section 5. Plank by plank. The enduring voyage of Theseus's ship. So there it floats, in the harbour of our minds, this meticulously reconstructed vessel. Every single piece of wood, every fixture is new. The ship retains its original form, its design. It continues to serve its purpose. It carries the name, the legacy, the legend of Theseus. But is it, in its essence, the same entity, the same ship that Theseus himself once sailed upon the wine-dark sea? Many would argue that yes, it is. They would say that identity persists through gradual change. We ourselves change, our bodies replace cells constantly, yet we feel we are the same person. A river is still called the same river, even though the water within it is always flowing, always new. Perhaps the continuity of form, of function, of purpose, perhaps these are enough to maintain its identity. The ship has an unbroken history of being Theseus's ship. Section 6. The question of persistence. What makes it the same ship? This gentle puzzle of Theseus's ship invites us to ponder. What gives an object its persistent identity over time? Is it the physical stuff it is made from, the actual atoms, the molecules, the planks of wood? If so, then perhaps the ship reassembled from the original planks has the stronger claim to being the true ship of Theseus, or perhaps identity lies more in the pattern, the form, the structure, the design, and very importantly, the continuous existence, the ship that was always there, always known as Theseus's ship, even if its constituent parts changed completely over time. This ship has an unbroken history, a continuity of being. Many people feel this unbroken lineage is key, much like a family name passed down through generations. Even as the individuals change, the family line continues. There is no single universally agreed upon answer, and that, my dear friend, is perfectly all right. It opens up space for thought, for gentle disagreement, for different perspectives, each with its own quiet logic. The ship of Theseus makes us think about ourselves too. Section 7. From Barbers to Boats, the common thread of thought. We have now met two rather different, yet equally intriguing paradoxes. The sharp logical knot of the Barber of Seville, and the more material philosophical puzzle of Theseus's ship. One dealt with language, rules, and self-reference, the other with physical objects, change, and persistence over time. They seem quite distinct at first glance, yet these two gentle puzzles share a common thread. Both the Barber and the ship of Theseus challenge our assumptions. They take everyday concepts like rules or identity, and they show us that these concepts can have fuzzy edges, unexpected complexities lurking just beneath the surface. They invite us to look a little closer, to question what we might normally take for granted. But they do so in a way that is not alarming, rather it is quietly, curiously engaging for the mind. These are not problems to be solved with urgent force. They are not designed to create anxiety or mental strain. Their purpose here is to provide a gentle focus, a calm point of contemplation for your mind. Section 1. A gentle deepening, moving into motion and truth. We have navigated the curious case of the village barber, and pondered the ever-changing yet somehow constant ship of Theseus. These initial excursions into the world of paradox have, I hope, been gentle. They have served to attune our minds to a certain way of thinking, a mode of quiet contemplation perfectly suited for the late hour. Now, with that gentle foundation laid, we can venture a little further, into paradoxes that touch upon slightly more intricate ideas about motion, about infinity, and about the very nature of truth itself. These are not to cause alarm, but to deepen our peaceful wonder. Our journey now leads us towards the fascinating propositions of Zeno of Elea, an ancient Greek philosopher with a wonderfully perplexing mind. His paradoxes often deal with the seemingly straightforward concept of motion. He presents arguments that appear quite convincingly to show that motion is impossible, or at least deeply problematic for our understanding. We will also encounter a classic puzzle of language, a statement so simple yet so cunningly crafted that it ties itself into an inescapable knot of self-contradiction. Section 2. Zeno's Arrow, the illusion of stillness in flight. Zeno's Arrow. Paradox questions motion. An arrow in flight seems to move, but at any instant it's still. Each moment is a frozen snapshot, so how can it move at all? A paradox challenging our perception. Section 3. Unpacking the arrow's flight infinite divisions. Let us linger a little longer with Zeno's airborne arrow. This arrow, which at every instant seems to be perfectly still. The paradox arises from a particular way of thinking about time and space. Zeno appears to be treating time as a series of discrete points, like beads on a string, and at each point the arrow is indeed motionless. If time were truly like this, a collection of static moments, then the arrow's flight would indeed be a profound mystery. How could it ever get from one point to the next if it is always still? Modern mathematics and physics, of course, offer different perspectives. They often speak of time and space as continuous, not as a series of separate, tiny points with gaps between them, but as a smooth, unbroken flow. In this view, an instant is not so much a container for stillness as it is a limit, a concept we approach. The arrow does have a velocity at every instant, even if at that precise durationless instant it doesn't a distance. Its state of motion is defined, but motion occurs an interval of time, however small. Zeno's paradoxes, like this one of the arrow, were incredibly influential in the development of mathematical ideas, particularly the concept of infinity and of limits. The idea of dividing something, like time or distance, into infinitely many parts is a powerful and sometimes perplexing notion. Zeno's genius was to highlight these perplexities, to show that our intuitive understanding of these concepts could lead to seemingly impossible conclusions. He was, in a sense, pointing out the subtle cracks in our everyday assumptions. But for us tonight, the resolution is not the primary goal. The gentle wonder is the arrow frozen in each instant, yet somehow flying. It is a beautiful image to hold in the mind. A quiet contradiction that can absorb our attention, drawing it away from more pressing, more anxious thoughts. It is a reminder that even the simplest things, like an arrow in flight, can hold deep mysteries when we look closely. Allow this gentle puzzle to soothe you, to carry you along like a soft breeze towards peaceful slumber. Section 4, Achilles and the Tortoise, a race against infinity. Having pondered the arrow suspended in its flight, let us now turn to another of Zeno's famous paradoxes of motion. This one involves a race between two rather mismatched competitors. On one side we have Achilles, the swift-footed hero of Greek legend, renowned for his incredible speed. On the other side we have a humble tortoise, known, of course, for its slow, deliberate pace. It seems like a race with a foregone conclusion, does it not? Surely Achilles would win with effortless ease. But Zeno, in his wonderfully contrary way, sets up the race with a twist. To make it fair, or so it seems, the tortoise is given a head start. Let us say the tortoise starts 100 meters ahead of Achilles. The race begins. Achilles, being much faster, quickly covers the initial 100 meters to reach the point where the tortoise began its journey. It seems he is making excellent progress, about to overtake the slower creature. This all seems perfectly logical and straightforward, following our everyday experience. However, during the time it took Achilles to cover those first 100 meters, the tortoise, slow as it is, has not been standing still. It has moved forward a certain distance, perhaps 1 meter. Let us imagine for simplicity. So now, Achilles is at the tortoise's starting point, but the tortoise is still ahead by that small distance of 1 meter. Achilles, being swift, quickly covers this additional meter, eager to finally close the gap and pass his slow-moving rival. But again, Zeno points out, in the time Achilles took to cover that 1 extra meter, the tortoise has moved forward still further, a tiny amount this time, perhaps just 1 centimeter. So Achilles reaches the point where the tortoise was, only to find the tortoise is still, stubbornly, a little bit ahead. And so it continues. Each time Achilles reaches the spot where the tortoise has advanced a little further. The gap between them gets smaller and smaller. Infinitesimally smaller, in fact, but it never quite seems to disappear completely. This is the perplexing heart of Zeno's Achilles and the Tortoise paradox. Achilles must first reach the tortoise's starting point, then the point the tortoise moved to in that first interval, and so on, for an infinite number of stages. Zeno argues Achilles can never overtake the tortoise, but in reality Achilles would overtake quickly. Mathematics explains an infinite series can sum to a finite amount. Achilles does pass the tortoise. The paradox makes us think about infinity, a curious, calming thought. Let us now gently shift our focus from the paradoxes of motion and infinity to a paradox that plays with language itself, with the very concepts of truth and falsehood. This is a venerable puzzle known in various forms for millennia. It is often called the liar paradox, and in its simplest, most elegant form, it consists of a single short sentence, a sentence that seems to turn back on itself, creating a loop from which escape seems quite impossible. A perfect little labyrinth for the mind to wander in softly. The sentence is this statement is false. Just 5 simple words. At first glance, it might not seem particularly troublesome. It is a statement like any other. It asserts something about itself, but let us try to determine if this statement is true or false. This is where the gentle, perplexing magic begins. We shall proceed slowly without any rush, allowing the logic to unfold at its own unhurried pace. As we explore this curious little twist of self-reference, suppose for a moment that this statement is false is true. If it is true, then what it says must be correct. And what does it say? It says that this statement is false. So if it is true, then it must be false. This is a clear contradiction. If assuming it is true leads us directly to the conclusion that it must be false, then our initial assumption that it was true must have been incorrect. This seems logical so far, does it not? A simple chain of reasoning. Now let us try the other possibility. Suppose this statement is false. If it is false, then what it says is incorrect. It says this statement is false. So if this assertion is incorrect, then the statement must actually be true. So if we assume the statement is false, we are led directly to the conclusion that it must be true. Another clear contradiction. We find ourselves in a rather peculiar, inescapable loop, a gentle, intellectual spinning, perfect for lulling the mind. So here we are, caught in the liar's delightful snare. If the statement, this statement is false, is true, then it must be false. And if it is false, then it must be true. It seems it can be neither true nor false. Or perhaps it is somehow both true and false simultaneously, though that idea itself often feels quite uncomfortable for our usual ways of thinking. This simple sentence seems to break the ordinary rules of logic, the rules that say a statement must be one or the other, true or false, but not both and not neither. This paradox has fascinated logicians and philosophers for centuries because it highlights something fundamental about language, about self-reference, and about the limits of what we can meaningfully say. When a statement refers to its own truth value in this direct way, it can create these kinds of unbreakable loops. It is like a snake trying to swallow its own tail, and then finding itself in a rather indigestible situation. There is a certain playful, almost mischievous quality to it all, isn't there? Many solutions and analyses have been proposed over the years. Some suggest that such self-referential statements are simply meaningless, that they are not proper propositions that can even have a truth value. Others have developed more complex systems of logic, systems that can accommodate such paradoxes, perhaps by introducing more than just true and false, perhaps by allowing for different levels of language, or by acknowledging that some statements are, in a sense, ill-formed, though they appear grammatically correct. But for our gentle journey towards sleep, the solution is not our concern. It is the contemplation of the loop itself that can be soothing, the gentle back and forth, true then false, false then true. It is a rhythmic mental motion, like a pendulum swinging softly. Allow this curious twist of logic to hold your attention lightly, not as a problem to be solved, but as a fascinating pattern of thought, a quiet intellectual dance to observe as the boundaries of wakefulness begin to soften and blur, leading you into the peaceful realm of dreams. Echoes in the everyday paradoxes beyond the page. Our journey so far has been one of quiet contemplation. We have wandered through the intriguing landscapes of logical knots and philosophical puzzles. These paradoxes cast long, subtle shadows that touch our everyday world. They find echoes in our societies, technologies, and self-perception. Exploring these connections invites a different kind of quiet appreciation. It is an invitation to observe these echoes with calm detachment, allowing these thoughts to deepen our sense of intrigue, guiding us towards the tranquility of the night and the welcome embrace of sleep. The ship of Theseus sails into our lives, identity in a changing world. Let us first revisit our old friend, the ship of Theseus, that remarkable vessel replaced plank by plank, yet still bearing its name. This puzzle of identity through change is not confined to ancient wooden ships. It sails quite boldly into our own lives, into our modern world. Consider for a moment your own self. You are not physically the same person you were 7 years ago, or even 1 year ago. Most of the cells in your body have been replaced, old cells dying, new cells being born in a constant quiet dance of renewal, yet you feel quite rightly that you are still you. There is a continuity of consciousness, of memory, of personality that persists despite this complete material turnover. You are like Theseus's ship, constantly being rebuilt from new matter, yet retaining a core identity that transcends the physical components. This is a profound, real-life echo of the paradox, one that touches the very essence of what it means to be a living, evolving being. It is a gentle reminder of the constant flux and the enduring sense of self that navigates it. This question of identity through change extends beyond ourselves. It applies to institutions, to companies, to nations even. A beloved local shop might change owners, staff, and stock over decades. It might even move to a new building, yet the community still refers to it as the same shop. A country may see its borders shift, its population change, its laws evolve, but it often retains a sense of continuous national identity. These entities, like the ship, maintain their name and their perceived essence despite undergoing substantial, often complete transformations in their constituent parts or characteristics. And what of our digital lives? Software programs are constantly updated, patches are applied, features are added, old code is replaced. Is your favorite application still the same application after its 10th major revision? It performs a similar function, it bears the same name, but its underlying code might be entirely different from the original version. The ship of Theseus sails through the digital seas as well, posing its ancient questions about what constitutes enduring identity in a world of relentless upgrades and transformations. These thoughts are not to cause unease, but to invite gentle wonder. Restoring the past, questioning authenticity, Theseus's legacy in museums. The puzzle of Theseus's ship casts light on how we preserve our past in museums. Imagine an ancient artifact, a beautiful statue, or a historical building. Over centuries it may suffer damage from time, weather, or human hands. Restorers face a delicate task. They might replace a broken piece, clean a faded surface, or reconstruct a missing section. Each act of restoration moves the object along the spectrum of Theseus's dilemma. How much can be replaced before the artifact ceases to be authentic? These questions invite appreciation for the complexities of preserving our past. Let us now turn our thoughts to Zeno and his paradoxes of motion. The arrow that seems forever still, Achilles who can never quite catch the tortoise. These ideas, born from ancient Greek contemplation, have left deep footprints in human thought. Footprints that lead to our modern, technologically advanced world. Zeno's puzzles spurred the development of mathematical tools that allow us to understand motion and change with precision. Calculus, the language of change, owes a debt to Zeno's challenges. Calculus describes change, The flight of a spacecraft, the flow of electricity, the growth of populations, none could be modeled without these tools. By trying to stop motion, Zeno helped us understand it better. A gentle irony, is it not? Think about the digital world we now inhabit. A film on your screen shows smooth motion, yet it is many still frames. A digital photograph looks seamless, but it is made of tiny pixels. Digital audio is created from thousands of samples per second. Separate elements create an illusion of continuous reality, much like Zeno's arrow, still at each instant, yet perceived as flying. Modern technologies echo Zeno's concerns about the discrete and continuous. They show us how we can bridge that gap, how small steps can be perceived as a smooth whole. Ancient musings find expression in our digital experiences, appreciating the dance between the finite and the infinite. Now let us recall the village barber, caught by his own rule, and the liar whose statement, "This statement is false tied truth in a knot." These paradoxes, rooted in self-reference and the precise meaning of language, have their own fascinating echoes in our structured, modern lives, particularly in areas where rules, definitions, and logic are paramount. Consider the world of law, for instance. Legal texts strive for utmost clarity and precision to avoid ambiguity and the kind of circular reasoning that plagued our poor barber. A poorly drafted law or contract can unintentionally create loopholes or contradictions that make its application impossible or absurd. Much like the barber's rule, if a legal clause inadvertently refers to itself in a way that creates a logical impasse, it can lead to considerable confusion. The study of these paradoxes, even in their simple forms, gently underscores the importance of careful, consistent definitions and the avoidance of self-contradictory statements in any system based on rules, whether it is a village barber's business model or a nation's legal framework. The world of computer programming is another domain where the ghosts of these paradoxes sometimes lurk. Programmers create complex sets of instructions, algorithms, for computers to follow. And here too, self-reference can be both powerful and perilous. A piece of code that refers to itself, known as recursion, can be elegant. It can solve complex problems by breaking them down into smaller, self-similar tasks. But an incorrectly designed recursive function can lead to an infinite loop. The computer endlessly trying to solve a problem that refers back to itself, never reaching a conclusion, much like the liar's oscillating truth value. These are not issues to cause you technical anxiety, dear listener. Far from it. They are simply gentle illustrations of how these abstract logical puzzles have very real counterparts in the systems we design and rely upon. The barber's dilemma and the liar's paradox remind us, in their quiet way, that clarity, consistency, and careful handling of self-reference are not just philosophical niceties. They are practical necessities for coherent systems, whether those systems are made of words, laws, or lines of code. A soothing thought, perhaps, that even logic has its playful cautionary tales. We love to put things into boxes, to define them, to label them. This helps us make sense of a complex world, but paradoxes remind us that our categories sometimes have fuzzy edges. They teach us to appreciate the shades of grey, the intricate patterns of thought. This too can be a soothing balm for a tired mind. Section 7. The soothing relevance of irresolution paradox in our world. Paradoxes like the barber, the ship, and Achilles present puzzles without clear solutions. Their value lies in making us think deeply about our world. Embracing these paradoxes can bring a sense of calm. They remind us of the intricate nature of existence. Let these thoughts settle gently within you. May this recognition of paradox carry you towards deep and untroubled sleep. Section 1. The gentle unraveling, approaching resolutions with calm. We have wandered together through some rather curious mental landscapes. We have met barbers in logical binds and ships in existential flux. We have watched arrows fly yet remain still, and runners who never quite catch up. These paradoxes, these gentle puzzles, have been our companions. Not to vex or to agitate, I trust, but to lead our minds down quieter, more contemplative paths. Paths that guide us softly towards the stillness of the night and the deep, welcoming embrace of peaceful sleep. Now we arrive at a slightly different phase of our shared journey. We shall consider what are sometimes called resolutions to these paradoxes, but let us be clear from the outset, dear friend. Our aim here is not to provide definitive, sharp-edged answers, not to declare case closed and move on with brisk efficiency. That is not the spirit of our nocturnal exploration. Rather, we shall look at different ways of thinking about these puzzles, different perspectives that can help to soften their sharpest edges, to gently unravel their most perplexing knots. The resolutions we will explore are more like gentle shifts in viewpoint, like looking at a familiar object from a new angle, discovering new facets, new shadows, new light. This process itself can be profoundly calming. It is not about winning an argument with the paradox or proving it wrong with a triumphant flourish of logic. It is about understanding its structure more deeply, appreciating why it arises and how it plays with our assumptions. This understanding often brings with it a sense of peace, a quiet acceptance of the beautiful complexity of thought. So there is no pressure here to grasp every nuance, no expectation that you must choose one solution over another. Simply allow these varied perspectives to wash over you, like gentle waves on a peaceful shore. Some may resonate more than others. Some may offer a particular comfort to your own way of thinking. The true resolution for our purposes tonight lies in this calm contemplation, in the gentle expansion of our understanding, and in the soothing rhythm of thoughts leading us ever closer to rest. Section 2. The Barber's Quiet Corner, redrawing the boundaries of logic. Let us revisit our friend, the village barber. He shaves all those, and only those, men in the village who do not shave themselves. Who shaves the barber himself? If he shaves himself, he should not. If he does not, he should. A classic self-referential puzzle. How might we ease the barber out of his predicament? Perhaps the rule has an exception. The barber shaves all men who do not shave themselves, except himself. This redraws the boundaries of the problem, highlighting the importance of precise definitions, a soothing thought for a mind-seeking order. Section 3. The ship's enduring voyage, perspectives on persistence and change. Now let us turn our thoughts once more to the ship of Theseus. That grand vessel replaced piece by piece until no original part remained, and its counterpart rebuilt from all the old discarded planks. This puzzle of identity invites many perspectives. There is no single universally accepted answer here, which in itself can be rather comforting. It means we're free to explore different ways of understanding without the pressure of finding one correct solution. This fosters peaceful contemplation. Section 4. Zeno's path to stillness, finding rest in infinite steps. Zeno's paradoxes, the arrow frozen in mid-flight, Achilles forever chasing the tortoise. These can feel particularly mind-bending. They seem to use flawless logic to prove something our senses tell us is untrue. Motion happens, arrows hit targets, swift runners overtake tortoises. So how do we reconcile Zeno's arguments with reality? The key often lies in a deeper understanding of the concept of infinity, a concept that Zeno himself was so brilliantly and provocatively exploring. These are not just tricks, but profound inquiries. The paradox of Achilles and the tortoise, for instance, involves an infinite series of smaller and smaller distances. Achilles must cover half the remaining distance, then half of what is left, and so on. It seems he will never quite reach the tortoise because there are infinite such steps. However, mathematics provides a rather elegant resolution here. It shows us that an infinite series of numbers can indeed add up to a finite total. If the terms in the series are decreasing sufficiently quickly, as they are in this case, this is the concept of a convergent series. Think of it like this. Achilles covers the first half of the gap in a certain time. He covers the next quarter of the gap in half that time, the next eighth in a quarter of that initial time, and so on. The periods of time taken for each successive step become infinitely small as well. So while there are an infinite number of tasks for Achilles to complete, the total time required to complete all of them is finite, and often quite short. After this finite time, Achilles does indeed draw level with and then smoothly overtakes the tortoise. Similarly with the arrow paradox, the idea that the arrow is motionless at every instant. This plays with the nature of an instant in time. If time is continuous, not made of discrete, separate points, then motion is about the relationship between position and time over an interval, even an infinitesimally small one. Calculus, with its concept of limits, allows us to define instantaneous velocity without falling into the trap of seeing the arrow as frozen. These mathematical perspectives don't dismiss Zeno, they build upon his challenges, showing how infinity, when understood carefully, allows motion to proceed quite naturally. A rather soothing thought that such deep puzzles can find such elegant, peaceful resolutions. Section 5, the liar's gentle silence, when words dance beyond true or false. The liar paradox with its simple, self-negating statement. This statement is false. If it is true, it is false. If it is false, it is true. It defies the principle that a statement must be one or the other. How can we find a quiet resting place for this perplexing pronouncement? Accepting its unclassifiable nature can silence its looping challenge, allowing the mind to rest from the chase. Section 6, beyond black and white, the comfort of nuance and vagueness. Our desire for clear categories, for sharp distinctions, for black and white answers, yet the world is often far more nuanced, more shaded, more wonderfully fuzzy. The paradoxes emerge at these fuzzy edges where our neat boxes feel too small. Consider the Sorites paradox. When does a heap stop being a heap? There is no single grain whose removal makes the crucial difference. This highlights the vagueness inherent in a word like heap. There is a profound calm in accepting nuance. It allows for a more flexible, forgiving way of seeing things. The world is full of gradients, spectrums, and in-between states. Recognizing this can be incredibly freeing. It allows the mind to relax its grip on the need for absolute certainty in all things. As we draw this exploration of perspectives and resolutions to a gentle close, I hope it has become clear that our aim was never to defeat these paradoxes, nor was it to strip them of their mystery or their power to provoke thought. Instead, by looking at them from different angles, by considering the ways philosophers, logicians, and mathematicians have approached them, we find that the paradoxes themselves can become even richer, even more fascinating objects of contemplation, leading us towards a deeper kind of intellectual peace. The resolutions we have touched upon are not final words. They are not doors slamming shut on a problem. Rather, they are like new pathways opening up, inviting further, calmer reflection. Understanding how the barber's rule might be ill-defined, or how Zeno's infinite series can sum to a finite number, or how the liar's statement might transcend simple truth or falsity. These insights do not make the original puzzles disappear. They transform them into something more nuanced, something that speaks to the very nature of logic, language, and reality. The true gift of these paradoxes, and of pondering their resolutions, lies in the process itself. The gentle mental activity of turning these ideas over in the mind is like a soothing balm, drawing our attention away from the day's anxieties. It engages the intellect without demanding strenuous effort. It encourages a state of calm curiosity, of peaceful wonder. This state is in itself a profound resolution, a resolution of the mind's restlessness into a state of serene engagement, perfectly attuned to the approach of deep, restorative sleep. So, as you continue to drift, allow these thoughts to settle like soft fallen leaves on the quiet surface of a still pond. The resolutions are not conclusions, but continuations, invitations to appreciate the boundless, intricate beauty of thought. May this appreciation deepen your sense of peace. May it quieten any remaining stirrings of the mind, and may it serve as a gentle, final lullaby, guiding you into the tranquil, untroubled realm of dreams where all questions find their own silent, perfect answers. Section 1. The Tapestry Re-examined, Threads of Our Shared Contemplation. Our journey through the gentle labyrinth of paradoxes is now drawing to its peaceful close. We have wandered together down winding paths of thought. We have paused to consider barbers caught in curious loops of logic. We have pondered ancient ships, ever-changing yet perhaps ever the same. Arrows have flown yet remained still in our mind's eye. Swift-footed heroes have chased tortoises through landscapes of infinite regression. And simple statements have twisted truth and falsehood into elegant, perplexing knots. Each puzzle a unique thread, each contemplation a moment shared in this quiet space. Throughout our exploration, the aim has always been one of gentle engagement. We have not sought to wrestle these ideas into submission, nor have we strived for definitive, unshakable answers to every question posed. Instead, we have approached these paradoxes as objects of calm curiosity. Like intricate patterns in a vast ancient tapestry, we have traced their designs with a light touch, admiring their complexity, their unexpected turns, their subtle beauty, all the while allowing our minds to drift further from the clamor of the day and closer to the deep, inviting stillness of the night. We have seen how these threads of thought, these paradoxes, are not merely abstract games. They echo in our understanding of the world around us. They touch upon our sense of identity, the nature of change, the limits of language, and the very structure of reality itself. By examining these echoes, these real-world resonances, we have perhaps found a new appreciation for the subtle complexities that lie beneath the surface of the everyday. This appreciation, too, has been cultivated with a gentle hand, ensuring it soothes rather than startles the mind preparing for rest. And so, as we re-examine this tapestry woven from our shared contemplation, let us acknowledge the quiet beauty of its patterns. The way each paradox, from the simplest to the more profound, has played its part in our journey towards tranquility. These thoughts have been our companions, our guides, leading us away from the well-trodden paths of worry and anxiety and into a realm of peaceful wonder, a realm where the mind can find both stimulation and serenity before it finally yields to the gentle call of sleep. Section 1. The Tapestry Re-examined, Threads of Our Shared Contemplation. Our journey through the gentle labyrinth of paradoxes is now drawing to its peaceful close. We have wandered together down winding paths of thought. We have paused to consider barbers caught in curious loops of logic. We have pondered ancient ships, ever-changing yet perhaps ever the same. Arrows have flown yet remained still in our mind's eye. Swift-footed heroes have chased tortoises through landscapes of infinite regression. And simple statements have twisted truth and falsehood into elegant, perplexing knots. Each puzzle a unique thread, each contemplation a moment shared in this quiet space. Throughout our exploration, the aim has always been one of gentle engagement. We have not sought to wrestle these ideas into submission, nor have we strived for definitive, unshakable answers to every question posed. Instead, we have approached these paradoxes as objects of calm curiosity. Like intricate patterns in a vast ancient tapestry, We have traced their designs with a light touch, admiring their complexity, their unexpected turns, their subtle beauty, all the while allowing our minds to drift further from the clamor of the day and closer to the deep, inviting stillness of the night. We have seen how these threads of thought, these paradoxes, are not merely abstract games. They echo in our understanding of the world around us. They touch upon our sense of identity, the nature of change, the limits of language, and the very structure of reality itself. By examining these echoes, these real-world resonances, we have perhaps found a new appreciation for the subtle complexities that lie beneath the surface of the everyday. This appreciation, too, has been cultivated with a gentle hand, ensuring it soothes rather than startles the mind, preparing for rest. And so, as we re-examine this tapestry woven from our shared contemplation, let us acknowledge the quiet beauty of its patterns. The way each paradox, from the simplest to the more profound, has played its part in our journey towards tranquility. These thoughts have been our companions, our guides, leading us away from the well-trodden paths of worry and anxiety and into a realm of peaceful wonder, a realm where the mind can find both stimulation and serenity before it finally yields to the gentle call of sleep. It may seem at first glance a curious notion indeed to use mind-bending paradoxes as an aid to slumber. Surely such puzzles are designed to awaken the mind, to sharpen the intellect, to provoke vigorous debate and strenuous mental effort, and indeed, in other contexts, they often serve precisely such a purpose. Scholars and logicians can spend lifetimes grappling with their intricacies, seeking solutions, refining arguments, pushing the boundaries of human understanding. This is a noble pursuit, without a doubt, but it has not been our pursuit tonight. Our approach has been altogether different, hasn't it? We have transformed these paradoxes into gentle lullabies for the mind. We have taken their potential for agitation, for sharp, focused thought, and we have softened it, diffused it, imbued it with a sense of calm. By presenting them simply, without demanding immediate resolution, by inviting contemplation rather than contention, we have allowed them to become soothing objects of focus, distracting the mind from the cycle of worries that so often keep sleep at bay, providing a gentle current to carry us towards peaceful shores. A restless mind, particularly at the end of a long day, often seeks something to hold on to, something to process. If left to its own devices, it may seize upon anxieties or replay the day's events with unwelcome intensity. Paradoxes, approached in our calm manner, offer a perfect alternative. They are intriguing enough to capture the attention, complex enough to engage the mind lightly, but they are also abstract enough and sufficiently removed from personal concerns that they do not fuel emotional distress. Instead, they offer a kind of intellectual play, a gentle rocking of the cognitive cradle. Think of each paradox as a soft mental pillow, something upon which your mind can rest comfortably and without pressure. The barber's dilemma, the ship of Theseus, Zeno's flights of fancy. They cushion your thoughts, absorbing the sharp edges of daily cares. They invite a state of wondering rather than worrying, a state of gentle curiosity that is conducive to relaxation. This is their true function in our quiet time together, to serve not as hurdles for the intellect but as aids to its peaceful surrender, as we prepare to let go of wakefulness. Section 3. Expanding horizons in the quiet hours, the mind's soft stretch. Engaging with paradoxes gently expands our minds, offering new perspectives. This soft stretch leads to a richer appreciation of complexity. It humbles and comforts, making us more flexible in our thinking. As you drift to sleep, embrace this quiet marvel. Section 4, the unresolved note. Finding comfort in lingering questions. Resolution is not the ultimate goal. Letting questions linger can be calming. It removes the pressure to solve. Paradoxes invite contemplation, not obligation. They teach us to live with ambiguities. This frees mental energy for peaceful sleep. Embrace the mystery and find comfort in wonder. Section 5, Carrying Wonder into the Realm of Dreams, a final soft invitation. Our journey exploring mind-soothing paradoxes now concludes. From simple village rules to the complexities of infinity and truth, these ancient puzzles still resonate today, calming your mind, easing your passage into sleep. A contemplation filled with quiet, peaceful wonder. This sense of wonder is precious. It can illuminate our waking thoughts and dreams. Carry this feeling of peaceful wonder with you. Let it guide you into the realm of dreams, a final soft invitation to embrace the magic of the unknown. Letting go with a peaceful sigh, we stand at the threshold of slumber. Let go of lingering thoughts, drift into deep, untroubled sleep. Surrender to the natural rhythms of your body and mind. Feel the gentle pull of sleep. May your dreams be gentle, your night tranquil. Awaken refreshed and renewed. Good night.